Hi everyone. So I was really excited to present at the Learning Conference today. So we used AdobeXD to design an assessment, and I went over some VR tips and tricks using a plugin with AdobeXD that's for virtual reality. And where we were during my session, we actually started with these very low fidelity wireframes down here, and we started styling the assessment. And so you can see I've done a little bit more since we last met. And one of the things I really wanted to be able to show was the power of how the different Adobe tools integrate with XD. And so I'm not a Photoshop pro by any means, but there are some little things that I do in Photoshop that definitely help to create a cohesive style across all of my artboards. So I've got this picture, this illustration of a woman, and I have two different feedback slides. So the two different feedback slides, one is for if you get the answer correct, and one's for if you get the answer incorrect. So she looks pretty happy here, and I want to create one where she looks sad because you've got the answer incorrect, just to bolster that feedback. And then the colors on her, she has this muted kind of it's like a salmon color, but her megaphone is actually really bright. So one of the things I want to look at is changing this megaphone to match the overall aesthetic of the project so that it doesn't draw your eye right to the megaphone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this magic wand tool really quickly. And what this will do is allow me to select specific colors on this illustration. So if you have a really high tolerance, you're going to be able to select a larger area, so it's going to expand out. And the lower the tolerance, the more specific the color. So if I bump this tolerance up to 80, I'm going to be able to select a pretty good amount of this megaphone. If the tolerance was lower, I would only be able to select little tiny chunks. Bad thing about this is if you're going through and you accidentally click on white, you're going to get all the white. So maybe I'm actually going to take that more down to a 60. Let's try 60. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to go inward and just grab out. And maybe I even want to do lower. So maybe I want to do 30. So let's go ahead and select this. And you can always do this in a different way. You don't have to use the magic wand. If you're really good with the lasso tool, you can use the lasso tool to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and get every little piece. I'm just horrible sometimes at selecting things in general. So 30 may be way too low of a tolerance for this. And you can zoom in a lot more. And that can be helpful as well. So let's go on. And maybe now that I'm in there, I want to bump this up. So let's go to 40. It's painstaking, right? Okay, so let's go to 50. Grab everything in there. And at some point, I'm just going to be okay, that's good enough. So let's just say that's good enough. So now I want to match that and I want it to be more muted. So what I can do, one way of doing this would be to change the saturation. So I'm going to go to Hue and Saturation in my Layers panel, and that's going to be down here. And what I can do is I can change the lightness. So I may want to up the lightness so it's a little bit more lighter. And then I may want to bump down the saturation a little bit. So that looks pretty similar to the shoes that she has down there. So I think that's fine. So that I don't accidentally select these, I may want to flatten these or merge these. So I can merge the layers together. And so now we just have one layer there. So the next piece is I want her to look sad. So that when you go to the incorrect layer, she looks sad. But first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add her to my library, because once you have something in your library, you can easily use it over in XD. So she's over here. She's labeled with Hue Saturation 1. Maybe not the best name, but that's okay. So now I'm going to do a sad version of her. So what I want to do is I want to select just the smile here. So I'm going to go ahead and still use my magic wand tool, and that saturation or that tolerance is going to be far too much or too low. So I want to make the tolerance a lot higher. So I'm going to bump it up to like 80. Oops, that's not right. Ay, what is happening? Okay, so let's work here. I want it to be lower. I've got the tolerance lower, so I can select more. So I want to make sure that over my layers I have her selected or have this selected. So I can go and copy, and if I wanted to, if I go to paste, you'll see I have the smile here again. So I've already got it copied, and what I want to do is actually take this and I want to blend it in, make it look like skin. So I can take this patch tool, select the smile, and then I can change, I'll just go down right below that because it's a very similar color, that, and you can see it just blends in. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do paste special and paste in place. So that pastes the smile right there in place, but you can see it's another layer over here, so we can manipulate it separately. So what I can do is I can go ahead and go to rotate, wherever rotate is. I always forget where the heck I'm going. So transform, and then I can actually do like either flip horizontal or flip vertical. So you can see like what that would look like. So I've just flipped it to the side. And then if I go over to see, transform, you can free transform as well. Flip vertical, it's going to go upside down. So if I want her face to look like that, I can have it look like that, or I can flip it back over the other way if I wanted to flip it back over the other way. So go back to transform, and then horizontal, it can go back the other way. So you can see now I have two different ones, easy peasy, two different images that are similar, but in this one she looks very sad. So I can go ahead and add this one too. So I may want to do the same thing here and just put these together. So either like flatten them or merge them or whatnot. And then I'm just going to name her sad. And then I can go ahead and click add this graphic. And you can see I have the sad one here. So then when I want to go over here and use it in XD, and I think I'm probably going to change this to be like a circle or something, I can go ahead, open my library, so open CC libraries, and then I should see the new ones in here. So you can see this one hasn't added yet, but if I want to go ahead and add this one, I can drag and drop it right in there, and you'll be able to see that image immediately. Obviously, I'm going to make it look a little bit different, but yeah, you get the gist of it. And so hopefully my sad one will load soon. Just sometimes things take a minute to load. And then I will be able to use this one there too. So just some quick tips that I didn't get to today, but I thought would be helpful. And that's about it. All right. Thanks everyone for attending my session today, and I'm excited to share the final product.